All right, here we are removing the thermocouple from the reactor before we open it up to get inside and clean everything out. First things first, we have to loosen each of these 8 bolts on the top of the lid. Each of them is torqued to 34 foot-pounds to create an airtight seal so that we're not losing gas as the run goes. So we've got to use that torque wrench to get them all fingered loose, and then we're able to remove them by hand. Once that's done, we can lift the lid up to expose the reactor itself, wipe off some of that excess diesel so that it doesn't dribble everywhere and make a mess. And then after we've removed the pack bed, we can get on in there and start pulling out some of the waste product that's left after the run, which we just do by hand and stick into that waste container before we add our feedstock for the next run. In this case, that's some of the drip tape that we're loading in there, and we'll fill the reactor all the way up. And then you can see here we've got to pack that down to once again make room for that packed bed to go over top and act as a filter material, which is slotting in here right now. That'll fit perfectly. Going on there next, we've got the gasket, which helps create that nice airtight seal that we saw before, and then the lid over top of it, making sure that we've got a thermocouple to go through the packed bed down into the polymer so we're able to monitor the temperature of the plastic as the run progresses, and then another thermocouple in there to monitor the packed bed temperature. And then once we've got that on, we can add those screws back, first to finger tight, and then you'll see here in a minute we'll pull out the torque wrench again and make sure they're again to 34 foot-pounds to create that nice airtight seal so we're not losing gas. And then our reactor can come back up into the fume hood, where we will be reattaching the condenser so that the gas has somewhere to go and we can recondense it into a diesel as it starts to come out of there. And then we're going to put some more insulation on the top here just to make sure everything is staying very hot so that we are getting the vaporization of the diesel as we're going. And then we're going to plug some wires into the thermocouples again to make sure that we're reading temperature, so we're monitoring everything, making sure everything's going smoothly as the run continues. One in the polymer, one in the packed bed, and one in the kiln, which was that one in the back that you saw there. Once these are all in, we should be set to go. And this is a couple hours later once we've started producing diesel product in the run. Periodically, we will do what we call these flow checks, where we take a sample to be tested later just to make sure that what we're producing is in fact a diesel product. And here that diesel is about a day later. You can see that from about 500 grams of diesel, half a kilogram, we've got about half a liter.